Wow. All right, well, welcome back here. We're on another video.
Yeah,
we are actually, this is the Wellington Railroad, or not really Wellington, because it's in Wellington, but
Wellington,
it's
Ohio.
the Lorain and West Virginia.
Yes, it is. It's on the grounds of the Lorain. It's called the Lorain and West Virginia. This is the modern day version. It's a tourist railroad. They got a really cool E8 locomotive, couple passenger cars, a trolley, an old like World War II locomotive, diesel locomotive. But yeah, we're going to be talking about it today, some of the history of it, explore some of the abandoned parts of it. There's about 6 miles of it that's in service with this tourist railroad.
And so what's cool about this is because this is abandoned, and it's all volunteer work. And I think, okay, I'm pretty sure I got the whole story correct. They own the right-of-way from here to Lorain, and it's all volunteer work, and they're laying down track. They're basically just making it a tourist railroad again, trying to expand it. But there is still, like, probably more than half of it is still abandoned. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, I believe it was about 20 or so miles, maybe 28 miles, off the top of my head. I had notes and then I completely forgot them to put them on my phone. So.
Oh well.
But
we're gonna see what we can do.
Yeah, we're gonna see what we can do and go retrieve a drone.
Oh yeah, that's right. We were I was trying to record it and hit a tree, but well,
nothing big.
Alrighty, here it is. This is really awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, there's the end of the line and there's a straight shot that way.
So this is their active line. This is pretty much where it ends off. And as we said before, it starts off in Wellington. They just kind of make their way up.
Yep.
And honestly, right here at the center, they probably stop right here.
As I say, they probably don't even come across this.
Yeah.
And they'll stop and then back to the station where we started today. But yeah, you can look this way and you can see where it was abandoned, starting in not officially, but there wasn't really any traffic after 1969. There was something called the Great Flood of '69. It affected a lot of railroads in this part of the country, in Ohio specifically.
Is that what washed out the Overton Railroad?
Yes, the Millersburg branch and a Pennsylvania Railroad branch that we haven't covered. Those two got wiped out because of this. This one did too. It wiped out a bridge, and they didn't use it anymore. It was already dwindling service. Like it might have gotten maybe 2 trains a day.
Wow.
And maybe up to 4. I don't know. But that's like a lot for nowadays. But back then, that's nothing.
And this was used for coal.
Coal, for iron ore. It went to the steel mills in Lorain. That was its primary purpose. Thus the name Lorain, West Virginia.
Where'd they get West Virginia from? Because this literally doesn't go anywhere near West Virginia.
Right, exactly. And that's something that was noted in the information about it. So the Wheeling and Lake Erie.
Yeah. It's
named after Wheeling, West Virginia. They wanted to build a railroad from Wheeling, West Virginia to Lake Erie. So they didn't ever actually do it. They had like track rights to technically go into West Virginia, to Wheeling, West Virginia. But the whole purpose of that railroad was to haul coal from eastern Ohio, down in the coal region, up to Lake Erie ports. They went from down there, like Steubenville area, up to like the Ohio River. They had a big yard down there, up to Toledo. And this was kind of just a different branch of that, where they went to Lorain on this one. And they would haul coal, they would haul steel.
So pretty much just everything that they would need to.
Yeah.
Just everything. So gotcha. Okay,
this came to in existence about roughly 10 years after the Wheeling and Lake Erie was really established as a railroad. 1906 was when this railroad became to existence on paper, and then 1908 is where they actually started running trains.
Okay.
And they had one of their own locomotives, and then the rest they just leased or borrowed, because it's technically its own entity. The Lorain and West Virginia, the original one. We're talking historic now. Obviously, we had the tourist railroad that owns the first like 7 miles of it, almost 8 miles. But the Wheeling and Lake Erie created this, and the Wabash, another big railroad. They owned the Wheeling, and one of their guys kind of helped create this. Actually, it's funny. It was his idea, and then they basically fired him before he could make it happen. So he built a competitor that was never remotely as successful as this one. That would be the Ashland Railway. No, not the new one again.
Right.
But we might do a video on that. That one's hard to trace though. Yeah. So he created that. Well, they created this, and this one was pretty successful. was a great service during World War II. All that steel and that coal needed to move around. But yeah, this is a steel and coal line. It's covering Oberlin. They had some customers in Oberlin. I don't really think they did much in Wellington other than connect to the Wheeling Lake Erie main line.
Right, because that's another thing, is the station that we just seen.
Yeah.
That we were just behind. That station was never there. I think they also said that on the on their website.
It is. That's not for this railroad. It's for a New York Central branch. Okay. It went through Oberlin, which is behind us that way.
That way.
Yeah. So that's for a different railroad, but they use it now, which is cool. They saved it, even though it's not.
Yeah, they said that they dismantled it piece by piece and put it up, and I think they said they found like a penny or like some kind of a coin from like 1863.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like their unofficial, like that's what they're dating it as.
Yeah.
Which it's old.
Oh,
it's an old building, and it's cool.
Old.
Even though it's not, an original piece of this, it's cool.
Yeah. Right. It's very cool.
But it's just really cool because this is a railroad that is abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, in use, abandoned, and now
use this way, abandoned that way.
Yeah, and it's cool. I think apparently there's still like a lot of. You said there's a lot of rail left, like old rail.
Yeah, it's like almost completely intact.
And
like the rail is.
We're gonna try and find out because I think that I don't know if it's the next crossing up or whatnot, but there's like an old school railroad crossing with the rails that still go across the road.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go try and check that out. But this is just a really cool shot here, as you can see.
Yeah.
Where it just literally ends off, just like the one in the West Salem video, where it just rails, nothing. Same thing.
This one still has rails though behind that way.
That's right. The West Salem
rails that way. We just can't tell.
Right.
The drone was thirsty.
So we won't
be able to use that.
Yeah, no. So pretty much all the footage, we're pretty much out down to the camera. So let me see if I can return that. But,
we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out. But I'd say let's go and check out the next crossing. So I'm not entirely. Hey, wait a minute. Where are we?
Oberlin.
So we're in Oberlin, and we're just kind of tracing the tracks and whatnot, and we found this bridge right that goes over top of this little road, and as well as another bridge down that way, which I believe probably goes over a river of some kind or some sort because there's no road. But this is a pretty awesome, portion right here. You could see the rails are still there, as you can see, and it's all. Oh, hey, wow, it's cool. How you doing down there?
I'm doing great.
I want to see what the bridge looks like over there.
Me too.
Oh, okay. So yeah, as you can see, the rails are still here, just like he said. They never ripped them up. Do you know if they ripped up any of the rails?
I think maybe some of the crossings north of here.
Yeah.
They might not even they might have just paved over them.
But this is cool, because you can see it's all still here. This is one of the, I don't know, maybe not original bridge from 1908, but a very old bridge right here. As you can see, he's kind of walking down there. Once again, I know we're going on things. We're not destroying anything. We just love history. But as you can see right here, look at this. This is all cleared out. Not entirely sure if they dug a pipeline or something here, but it's very, very, very high off of the, the ground, as you can see. But this is really, really cool. So we're actually on another bridge here that goes over top of a public trail, as you can see right down in here. So cool. But other than that, this is a bigger bridge than the other one over there. But this thing is awesome.
A little bit beefier, it's honestly that one, the supports look a little rough, but this one I think could maybe still hold a train.
Really?
Yeah, I was looking kind of as we get up here, and obviously I'm not an expert, so my opinion on the matter is completely moot and useless.
Right. I mean, it just looks good.
It just looks pretty structurally sound still. So some nice art from the locals.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a nice hangout spot. I mean, I'd probably chill out here.
Yeah.
But it's awesome knowing that all the rails are still here and
in theory
nothing's torn up. And this is what you were talking about, the West Salem one that we just did.
So this is looks kind of crude to me, but this is keeps the wheels on the tracks
just to make sure that don't derail and be a catastrophic disaster.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so he just said that this is probably another railroad.
Yeah, this is a New York Central route that went through Overton and Oberlin, excuse me. Then that's what the station down in Wellington. It was for this route.
Okay, originally for that route, which had been turned into a rails to trails, I assume.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's cool. I do.
And actually, I talked about the Lorain and Ashland Railway. We went over that. That's partially a rail trail too.
Oh, that's right.
So, some neat stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. We need to go down there so we can look at this thing.
Yeah.
On the trail, but this is such a good. You said you found a date on these rails.
1928.
1920. Dude, these are so old. Almost 100 years old.
Yeah.
Steam engines used to barrel over these.
This track north of where we were at survived about 10 years after steam engines were done.
Yeah.
I mean, almost pretty much its entire life was spent with steam engines going over it. It's pretty awesome.
That's so cool. And this was abandoned when? Officially abandoned?
Officially abandoned, I don't remember off the top of my head. It was the late 70s, either 77 or 79. And then really 69 was the last time I saw trains.
Okay.
But
after that, they were like, all right.
Somewhere here in northeastern Ohio, there was a track that had 2 trains and a bridge. Like
Really?
all in the same spot. My uncle told me about it, and I have no idea where it's at now, but...
That'd be so cool to see.
This just reminded me of it. It's
Yeah.
not this, but...
It's cool because this was a railroad right here.
Yeah, we're walking on a...
There's another one.
bed.
Wow. See, dated the rails 1928.
Imagine 2 steam engines coming through here.
Same
Like,
time.
That's just beyond cool.
I wonder how long. I wonder if they could actually. You know, I know it's all volunteers right now on the Wellington side, the tourist group. But can you imagine if they get to this point and they're like, all right, I'm sure they have to do some kind of renovations, like to the pillars or whatnot, just to make this thing usable. But this thing ain't in bad shape.
No.
This thing's beautiful. It's big. And so now we're here, as you can see, more track. This is a crossing, but this is what's cool is there is an old railroad crossing or I guess signal, kinda, right there.
Crosswalk is what that's called.
Crosswalk. But as you can see, they definitely just paved right over the rails. But look at that, this is awesome. You can see the entire, kind of like the whole right of way down that way.
Yeah.
We kind of followed it the entire way, but this is cool. Rails, ends, starts up again, keeps going. This is awesome.
We did see something cool. I got a little phone footage. I don't know if we're gonna put that in the video or not, but in between here and the next crossing down, there's a second track.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and we don't. I'm assuming it's probably a siding, but it's gone by here. It's
Yeah.
not here, so
Right, so it had to have been just like a little siding.